Hello everyone, Darren here, and on today's episode of WotC Academy, we're going to look at how to play the Tier 9 heavy tank, the Lorraine AMX M4. This is a vehicle that is half medium, half heavy tank, which makes for an interesting vehicle to play in upper tier games. So with the help of one of my assistants, Flying Egg, we're going to look at how to play this interesting vehicle. So starting off with the armor on the Lorraine AMX, overall the armor is both good and bad. The hull armor is like the Lorraine 40T, the Tier 9 medium tank, and is very weak in all areas, and you should not expect to bounce any shells off of it, even when side scraping. The side armor can be overmatched by all 91 plus millimeter guns on the lower section, and all 121 plus millimeter guns on the upper section. The turret, however, is a different story, as it is very strong from the front. The side armor is rather weak, however, so make sure to point the turret directly at the threat. There are small cupolas on the top that are quite easy to pen, so make sure to keep moving to make them harder to hit. Moving on to the mobility of this tank, you will find that overall the mobility is one of the highlights, with a fantastic 60 kilometers per hour top speed and a healthy 17.82 power to weight ratio. This will ensure that you reach your top speed easily. You can take very early aggressive positions with this speed, but do be careful to not overextend. If you do get into trouble, however, you may find that this tank's 15 kilometers per hour reverse speed may become a hindrance to you depending on how far you need to reverse. It is also important to keep in mind that this tank does have a 20% chance of fire. So if you are going up against tanks that have big guns like the AVRE or the Death Star or anything like that, there is a good chance you may get caught on fire if their round hits you in the engine deck. Now for the gun, or guns, as this tank does have two options to choose from, I would highly recommend the 130mm for all players, as the 120mm option is just overall sad. The 130mm for me is the other highlight of the tank, as this gives you near tier 10 firepower in a tier 9 tank. The base aim time of 2.3 seconds, base accuracy of 0.37, and a base reload time of 17.5 seconds all may sound rather mediocre on paper, but in practice, coupled with the monstrous 560 alpha damage of the 130mm gun, it is absolutely devastating. Now, how do you set up the Lorraine AMX M4? Well, I would recommend taking a full premium loadout of AP ammo, as even then your penetration is rather poor. Coupled with the long reload, it can be very punishing if you are not penetrating most of your shots. Now, also taking a few HE shells is also very beneficial for devastating lightly armored targets, including Artie, that now has the juicy HP buff. I also run a premium repair kit, first aid kit, and food to be the most competitive. However, you can always run what you prefer if you do not like running full premium loadouts. For equipment, I run advanced loader, gun stabilizer, and ventilation to maximize gun performance, which is of course a highlight of the tank. However, you can drop vents for optics if that is more your style. For the commander build, I recommend running Brothers in Arms, Sixth Sense, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Off-Road Driving, Situational Awareness, and Armor Angling. But of course, you can set up your commander to fit your preferences for this vehicle. Now, how do you play the Lorraine AMX M4? You want to utilize your high speed to reach advantageous positions to surprise the enemy tanks. However, you need to be careful not to overextend and leave yourself isolated. Remember, your armor is only strong if you are hull down. If you can play hull down, then you can play as a frontline heavy, albeit it can be a bit risky and you may find it uncomfortable to do so. Preferably, you want to be playing as a frontline supporting role and allow your teammates with stronger armor to take the focus while you dish out big damage with your exceptional alpha damage. With the 130mm gun, you need to take a bit of extra time to aim and make sure your shots penetrate. Thankfully, your turret armor is good, so it will allow you to do this. With the big damage potential and longish reload, it can be both punishing and frustrating to be constantly missing or bouncing shells. With the exceptional mobility of this tank, you can easily relocate around the battlefield to make sure you keep up with the game or retreating to advantageous positions to keep your gun singing. That does it for the overview of the tank. Now let's take a look at some gameplay. So here we are on Fitful Ridge Assault, joined with Flying Egg, who will be our wonderful driver and tour guide for today's replay. And anyone that knows Flying Egg knows that he is one of my assistants, and he tends to bring me footage of tanks that I'm just unable to get footage that I need myself. And so, thankfully, Flying Egg has wonderfully pretty much beat me to the punch here of getting a good game for this vehicle, and graciously allowed me to use this replay. And he also helped write the script. In his entirety, wrote the script, and I just added a little bit onto it. So, yes. Now, back to the gameplay. What we see here is instead of going to the FG67 grid area where you tend to see most people try and go and play hull down, what we are seeing right now is Flying Egg and a couple other people that have decided to follow this speedy boy here up to this mountain, and this is where we're going to see a good demonstration of maintaining a hull down position while also being a second line support heavy. And I'll get into what that is in a second. Now, we spotted the Emil 1, and so what we're going to try and do right now is we're going to try and put a shot into the Emil 1, but the Emil 1 is way too quick. Just as quick as I'm talking, basically. So now we're stuck into reload, but we can see here that other tanks are pushing forward. This 907 pushed forward too much, just in time for Flying Egg to reload and put a shot into him. But this is now where we're seeing this support heavy roll. We are letting the actual brawling heavies push up, while Flying Egg here stays in his hull down position at the the second line of said front line of that area. Now we see an Object 277 out there. He doesn't have a clear shot, but hey, look, there's a VK100P that's out there. He's going to try and go for a damaging shot, but that ended up being a tracking shot, but that will work out in his favor here in a couple seconds, as we're going to see that he gets a good, nice amount of track assist right there of about 956, I believe. So there we go. We put another good shot into the 277 down onto his upper hull. And at this point now, we're basically just seeing him just peek out, hide his hull, get good shots of opportunity, and just move on. So second line support basically is kind of like what he mentioned in the script of a supporting role. Now the second line support is basically you are on the front line, but you are not actually up front in people's faces brawling. That would be the front line. I made a video on the lines of battle actually. Now the second line is, again, it's up there on the front line, so you see the same tanks as the people on the front line, but you're not brawling in their face. You are actually just a little bit farther back in, like hull down positions, or, just out of other people's way, just shooting at tanks of opportunity, and there goes Flying Egg taking out the VK100P. So you are up there, and that's kind of what this tank specifically is. It's like the Chieftain in a sense of it's a second line tank. It can brawl if you are in a very good position meant for that tank, but you are, as a whole, are not really a brawling vehicle. And it's, you're more kind of dedicated to a support role up there on the front line supporting the other vehicles. Now, again, more skilled players will be able, I can be on the front line of the Chieftain, and there are people that can do that. Now, there we go. We almost took care of the SU-122-54. But instead, he managed to just do a tracking shot as well as a decent amount of damage to the 122-54, and the Keelan took care of the 122-54. But Flying Egg there took a shot, but also managed to take care of the Skoda T56 as well. So there's another tank out of the fight. And already we are sitting at almost 6K combined damage right now, and the game isn't even over yet. So Flying Egg right now, again, is using the mobility and speed to, just push up and keep aggressive and get to new lines of sight for enemy vehicles here. And the 277 is still live. Flying Egg's going to put another shot into the 277, this time also damaging and tracking him. And now we're just sitting on the reload there. We are hull down. We're going to go for shot number 2 to do another tracking and damaging shot. And lo and behold, he did. And so now Flying Egg is going to go forward while he gets tracking assist from someone taking care of the 277. He's going to go forward now, and he's going to help this 279E, who is low health, deal with this rather healthy 50-51. Flying Egg's going to go forward. He's going to tank a shot. And he's going to try and side scrape here. I apologize if you see lag. I saw lag in this recording. Now, the 50-51 does take a solid amount of damage, but unfortunately, the 57 Heavy takes care of the 279E. But the 50-51 here is now a one-shot, and the Terran does Terran things and just YOLOs the 57 Heavy, but the Terran takes a shot, but also opens up the 57 Heavy to get shot by the Keelin here. Now, this flank now completely taken care of here. Flying Egg is going to push forward and deal with the remaining 4 tanks. Now, there's a Maushan spotted over there, and then there is some other tank spotted elsewhere at the moment. We just have no idea where yet. Ah, there it is, the TD, the 183, that just narrowly missed the Flying Egg with, again, this very large tank. This tank, again, is speedy, but it's very large. So if you're out in the open, you are going to be quite a juicy target for pretty much everyone, because you can be very easy to hit, even given your speed. Now we're going to come up right behind the Maushan here, and you know, this is very good. We're going to be able to just shoot the back of the Maushan, and with his damage, there's plenty of HP to just, you know, shoot the back of the turret, damage the ammo rack, and of course there is a medium tank that's also spotted over there that hasn't left. Now we've almost reloaded, and we are going to be able to take care of the Maushan with, you know, our alpha damage that was greater than the health remaining on the Maushan. Now we're going to just continuously push forward here. We're going to try and get a shot on the I can't even read what tank that is. That looks like a tier 8 heavy. We surprisingly managed to get a tracking shot on that 105-1000 there, which allowed for a good tracking shot on them, and you know, that took care of them. And we're also getting good spot assist on that medium tank that's over there. Now, there is a full health Death Star that is attracting the attention of Flying Egg, and to be fair, I would do that too. That's a lot of damage for me to farm right there. So we're going to abandon the medium tank that was already just taken out. It was a 58 months, and now we're going to just focus on the Death Star, as that's the last tank alive right now. Currently, before the game's not even over yet, so there's still a chance to get more damage, but we are currently sitting at almost 12,500 combined damage in this vehicle. I just want to point this out. Again, apologies if you are seeing lag. I'm seeing frame rate lag. And we're going to put one more shot. It's going to be a tracking shot on the Death Star. The Death Star, unfortunately, takes out Flying Egg in this case, but it's still a victory. And, I mean, it was still an excellent game overall with, again, almost 13,000 damage combined in this game. A very, very good game in the Lorraine AMX M4. Just goes to show that you can be aggressive in a fragile tank, but also, you know, just excellently demonstrates the versatility and the potential that you can have in this vehicle. So as we go through the results screen here with Flying Egg, I did some math here, and as we can see here, that Flying Egg did a combined total raw and assisted damage of 13,244. That's that's impressive. So he also got a Mastery Badge, Confederate Medal, and the High Caliber Medal, and just it was overall a very, very good game to watch. I'd like to take a moment to thank Flying Egg for the assistance of this video in writing the script and the replay as well. It helped a lot since I can't really get that information myself in the middle of moving. And so, again, big thanks to him. I also want to thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of Watsy Academy.